we have witnessed cinema. Alex Pereira stops Yuri Prochazka in the second round. You can make the argument he was already down in the first round. Goes into the second, head kick KOs Yuri Prochazka, and readjusts his toes right afterwards. Alex Pereira is the main character of combat sports. Alex Pereira is one of the few people in human history that proves the existence of plot armor. This man, I'm not going to go through the entirety of his run, but dude, in less than 3 years, he has beaten Israel Adesanya, one of the greatest, if not the greatest middleweights of all time. Is able to beat Jan Blachowicz, a former champion. Beat Sean Strickland, a champion. Yuri Prochazka, a former champion. Jamal Hill, a former champion. And defend the title at light heavyweight. Becoming the third greatest light heavyweight of all time and cementing that. I said this in a TikTok video I made last night at like 1:30 in the morning. That's why this video is a little bit late. And this might be the first time I've been able to say this statement without the comment section trying to cannibalize me, because I think people are starting to realize this. Alex Pereira is now above Khabib Nurmagomedov in the GOAT argument. I said it. Because what Dagestani would put their title on the line in less than 1 month's notice to upstage Conor McGregor, not for the first time, but for the second time. This man fought Yuri Prochazka with 2 broken toes. Khabib Nurmagomedov missed weight against Tony Ferguson not once, but twice. I never want to hear this again. People were talking about how Alex Pereira lost the mentality, and I'm going to be real with you. I'm not even saying that as like, look how dumb you are. No. That's what I thought. I still chose Alex Pereira because logically that is the pick that you make, and listen, I am now becoming a poetard. I am one of you. Alex Pereira, I'm done with, like, this is how crazy it is, okay? Like, somebody brought this up in the post-fight press conference, and I think this needs to be brought up again, because I didn't realize this. Conor McGregor, when he broke his leg, Diego Lopez and Alex Pereira weren't even in the UFC at that point. Like, the entirety of the UFC has changed, okay? You remember when Black Adam came out, that horrible Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie? Yes, you know how he said the power dynamic in the DC universe was going to change forever, and then the movie bombed? I feel like when Alex Pereira joined the UFC, the power dynamic of the greatest fighters in the organization changed forever, because they were afraid of this guy. Alex Pereira's him, okay? Like, I'm just going to be talking about, like, certain parts about the car. I just wanted to talk about this whole Alex Pereira thing, dude. Alex Pereira is in a spot right now where I think he's going up to heavyweight. And the reason that I think that is because the UFC definitely has storylines that they like to push, okay? There's certain storylines, there's certain people that they're trying to push, okay? That's what you need to understand. Conor McGregor's comeback versus Michael Chandler. They are going to do that. Okay? Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. That is a storyline that they are going to do because they've invested too much into it. They do not care that Tom Aspinall should be logically fighting next. They are viewing Alex Pereira winning the heavyweight title, at least going up to heavyweight, as a huge storyline that they can do. Understand this, the UFC is a legit sport, but like, I say this all the time, the UFC makes a lot more sense when you view it as a business as opposed to a sport, because then everything makes sense. Alex Pereira, this is how I think it's going to play out. Understand, as the fight's going on, I was thinking to myself, which would be better? If Yuri Prochazka beat Alex Pereira, or if Alex Pereira beat Yuri? Because if Yuri beat Alex, then the UFC was going to book a trilogy fight, because that would logically be the fight to make, because who cares about Ankalaev? And if Alex Pereira beat Yuri, I thought to myself, okay, so they're going to do Ankalaev, right? That's what I was thinking, because the UFC wants to get into Saudi Arabian money. I'm not even mad about that, but like, there's a lot of money in Saudi Arabia. The UFC wants to go there for that money. It's as simple as that. It's a business. So that's what I thought they were going to do. But Alex Pereira beats Yuri Prohaska. And Joe Rogan, okay? Joe Rogan comes in there, and I feel like he was trying to get Alex Pereira. There was a response that they were trying to get out of Alex, but he never did it, okay? And I predict that the response that they wanted is they wanted Alex Pereira to say something along the lines of, I want to be a heavyweight champion. I want to capture the heavyweight title. Or, like, dude, Dana White might actually just, like, overload, okay? Just overload with glaze, okay? If Alex Pereira were to say something along the lines of, I am going to be the guy to knock out Jon Jones. That is what they're going to do, okay? Understand that is what the UFC is now going for. I think Jon Jones, whether he started it or not, or whether Hunter texted him, they're looking at something along the lines of, hey, if you do multiple fights, okay, the fan base is now coming behind Tom Aspinall. We can have you fight Stipe, but when you beat Stipe, as of right now, you're probably going to have to fight Tom. And we can't really shelter you from Tom anymore, so you gotta, we have another idea. We could also put you up against Alex if Alex is able to get a few things done for us. So that's when Jon Jones posted, who would you rather me fight, Tom Aspinall or Alex Pereira? And overwhelmingly, people chose Alex Pereira. Because, does it make sense? Really, no. Like, understand this. The hype behind Alex Pereira is purely, it really is. He shouldn't be able to do this, but I want to see if he can. Like, he shouldn't have been able to beat Jan Blachowicz. He shouldn't have been able to capture 2 titles in this sort of time. Why? Because no one's ever been able to do that. And he shouldn't be able to win a title at heavyweight in less than 4 years of being under the UFC contract. But would it be cool if he did? I'll tell you this right now. Alex Pereira is not just above Khabib Nurmagomedov in my eyes, because Alex Pereira is challenging himself in ways that Khabib never did. But bro's already going to be in the Hall of Fame. Let's be real. Alex Pereira is already in the Hall of Fame. 3rd greatest light heavyweight of all time. Beat the 2nd or the 1st greatest middleweight of all time. Beat the dude who beat the 2nd greatest middleweight of all time. 2 of them. Jan Blachowicz and Strickland both beat Adesanya. And now they want him to go to heavyweight. How do I think this plays out? What's the last 2 fights of Alex Pereira? Yes, I really do believe we're looking at 2 to 3 more fights out of Alex. I don't see him fighting for very long. I said this in a past video. I'll elaborate a little bit further. The moment Alex Pereira loses, he will leave as quickly as he came into the sport. Why? Because there's no reason to stay at this point. Why would he stay? Okay? Like, I'm not saying that he's a quitter. What I'm saying is, does Alex Pereira strike you as a guy who's going to go on a 3-fight losing streak and still be in the UFC? Absolutely not. Bro, he lost his first MMA fight and then went back to kickboxing for 4 years and then went back into MMA after Adesanya was talking shit. He openly thanks Adesanya for giving him the motivation to come in. People think he's joking. I do believe he's being honest here. Alex Pereira strikes me as a guy that the only reason he got into kickboxing is, I don't know if he's ever confirmed it or not. I guarantee you Alex Pereira got mugged one time. He got mugged one time and then got into kickboxing. I am telling you this right now. Alex Pereira 100% has the personality type that if you wrong him, he is going to come for you. Like dude, Adesanya didn't even beat him in kickboxing. And Adesanya was just talking shit. Bro came over to the UFC and beat him. Bro knocked him out, and Pereira kept on trying to get a rematch with him, but then the UFC told him that wasn't going to happen, and that's why I believe he stopped talking about it. He goes up to heavyweight and has a beef with Jamal Hill because Jamal Hill beat his mentor, Glover. He respects Yuri. There was no beef with Yuri. If Jon Jones wants to fight with Alex Pereira, all he has to do is talk shit about Glover, talking about how the last time a seemingly unbeatable Brazilian I was set to fight him was Mauricio Sogunhua. Everybody thought he was going to be the champion. I was fighting on short notice, and I beat Mauricio Sogunhua. Talk about Glover. If Jon Jones wants the Alex Pereira fight, all you got to do is talk shit. Like, that's really all you have to do. How do I think this fight goes? I don't even know. Okay? Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think Alex Pereira's grappling is that good. Okay? Like, I really don't. But it's good enough! It really is, dude. It's good enough! Like logically, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But damn, is this not entertaining. Like, if this was a movie, okay? If you told me that there was a guy that was an alcoholic by the age of 15, got into kickboxing at 20 years old, became a double champion in Glory Kickboxing, became the first dude to ever get inducted into the Glory Kickboxing Hall of Fame, got into MMA at 25 years of age, got into the UFC versus, let's be real here, got into the UFC because they wanted him to lose to Adesanya. That's why he got in. Has a rough-ist performance against Bruno Silva. I watched back that fight for this one. I'll be real, wasn't that great of a performance for Pereira. It really wasn't. Bruno Silva's built different, though. And then goes through the entirety of middleweight. Speed runs middleweight. Beats Adesanya after losing the entire, well, not the entire fight. He was losing on the scorecards. Beats Adesanya TKO. Loses to Adesanya. Jan Blachowicz wins. Yuri Prochazka win. Jamal Hill win. I would think this movie was bullshit. Like, this seems like a movie. Bro, he had a 4-minute stare down with Yuri Prochazka. Who the fuck does that? Alex Pereira's that guy, okay? At this point, if we're going to lean into the absurdity, and I think that's what the UFC is doing because it does serve them, they don't want Tom Aspinall to beat Jon Jones. For whatever reason, I think this is how they view it, okay? The whole reason that Jon Jones went up to heavyweight and how they've been marketing it is they want the UFC to forget about Francis Ngannou. Dude, I saw a headline that says that they're looking back on it, it was silly to talk about Francis Ngannou versus Jon Jones because Jon Jones would have no-diff Francis Ngannou like he did Cyril Gane. What information do you have that you can come to that conclusion? Name one person that wrestle-fucked Francis Ngannou outside of the first Stipe fight. But even the first Stipe fight, like, Stipe was in danger. Like, how could you come to that conclusion outside of just pure copium and you're just mad at Francis, which they still are to this day? And they view Tom Aspinall, for whatever reason, they believe that the normal MMA audience isn't going to put Tom Aspinall above Francis, so if Tom Aspinall beats Jon Jones, they're going to say, well, Francis would have beat Tom Aspinall. That's what I think it is. Alex Pereira has a presence about him that I think if Alex Pereira were to beat Jon Jones, they'd be like, well, Francis probably couldn't have done it because Alex Pereira is just built different. It's something weird. I think that is part of it. Part of it is, I think they're just angry that MMA, this sounds like I'm glazing myself, but it's definitely not all me, that MMA YouTubers and content creators were able to make it so the Stipe fight versus Jon Jones just seems stupid and now nobody really cares about it. Like, that's really what it is. Dana White glazes the fight nonstop. MMA Guru, Lucas Tracy, Bedtime MMA. There was another YouTuber that featured me. I'm so sorry if I can't remember his name. He's a British fellow. They all talk about how the fight's stupid. And it is. It's a stupid fight. Most people agree on that. But for whatever reason, they see Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones as a fight to make. And in all honesty, it sucks for Tom. Like, if Jon Jones is going to retire against Stipe, okay, then Alex Pereira, Tom Aspinall. Why not, dude? Book it. I think Tom Aspinall should beat Alex Pereira. But he should have lost to Jan too. There's so many people that should have beat Alex, but Alex won. If he's able to beat Tom Aspinall, I'll tell you this right now, I will immediately put him in the top 5 of all time. Fight me in the comment section. I just wanted to rant about this. Also, just one little side tangent before I let you guys go. Stop saying fraud checked for Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez had to weigh in 3 fucking times. One at 145, one at 155, one at 165. And then was training for Brian Ortega. And then they took Dan Ige, who's a completely different type of fight. Like, when you're training to fight Brian Ortega, you're training grappling. When you're training to fight Dan Ige, you're training striking. Don't stop saying Diego Lopez got fraud checked. No, he didn't. He had a nightmare situation that 99% of fighters would have just not done the fight. But Diego Lopez is a dog. Dan Ige is a dog. It was a great fight. Stop saying fraud checked. That's what I'm going to end on. Thank you, everybody who watches my content. I'm sorry for like the little hiatus. I have this channel, the other channel. Some stuff came up. I'm getting spread thin, but I'm working out a regimen for this. And in all honesty, UFC 303, just what a beautiful card, man. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you all next time.